Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a massive update on the investigation into none other than Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I'll tell you what, AOC is sweating bullets. As many of you know, a couple months ago, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hosted a, quote, Know Your Rights webinar in which she instructed illegal aliens on how to avoid ICE deportations. Really, she's betraying the American public that she was elected to serve with blatant disregard. Now, border czar Tom Hman took serious issue with this, calling for the Department of Justice to investigate Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's unlawful behavior. Her actions are a direct assault on President Trump's America First border security agenda. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is why right now AOC is absolutely freaking out. In fact, take a look at this.
Hey, Congresswoman, can you tell us, are you under investigation by DOJ? Have they told you yet? Have they responded?
I mean, they haven't been I've asked them. They haven't responded to me. But, you know, once again, fully using the First Amendment to inform people of their constitutional rights. They say a lot of things, but I've written a formal letter and they won't respond.
What would result from a possible arrest of a lawmaker, a sitting Democrat lawmaker, over immigration by the Trump administration?
I mean, whether it's about immigration or anything else, the arrest of, I think, a lawmaker without any actual grounds, I think would represent a tremendous sea change and escalation in what this administration is willing to do to bend laws, norms, etc., and how a normal functioning democracy works. And on top of what it means for us domestically, I think globally, many of our allies, partners across the world would be extremely alarmed at such an authoritarian development in the United States.
Okay, now folks, we have a lot to unpackage here, but before we do, I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, let's break all of this down. AOC said that she doesn't even know if she's being investigated by the DOJ because the DOJ hasn't cared enough to respond to her. And in my opinion, good. The DOJ doesn't owe her a response. In my opinion, they owe her a prison cell. And she also thinks that if she were to be arrested, it would represent a, quote, escalation by the Trump administration, undermining democracy and serving as an authoritarian development which would concern and alarm other nations around the world. Now, do you folks remember how for 9 years the Democrats actively tried to put President Trump behind bars? Because I sure do. Just a little bit hypocritical here, AOC. Really, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's webinar in which she coached illegal aliens to avoid ICE apprehension and deportation is just yet another disgusting example of the progressives' agenda to dismantle our borders and to invite third world chaos into American cities. And here's the reality. AOC's radically progressive political philosophy, rejected by 80% of Americans, pushes divisive policies that weaken our nation's foundation, ultimately prioritizing foreign criminals over the safety of everyday American citizens. Her anti-American behavior directly undermines ICE's mission to deport dangerous illegal alien criminals, and by coaching these illegal alien criminals to avoid deportation, she is putting their lives above the lives of American citizens. And so yesterday afternoon, border czar Tom Hman actually directly responded to AOC. Take a look.
Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez said that she hadn't heard from the Department of Justice on potentially being referred or whether she's under criminal investigation. Do you have a response?
I have to check with the Department of Justice on that.
Okay, and do you have a response in general to her saying there'd be a problem about whether if Republicans or anyone goes after these Democrats?
Look, you know what? I wish she'd do her job. She's a legislator, right? Why don't she pass some legislation and and actually improve this country like President Donald Trump is already doing? I mean, I'm doing my job. Border secure. We arrested 3 times more criminals than Biden did. We're doing our job. She should try doing her job.
And so, folks, as usual, everything border czar Tom Hman just said is absolutely correct. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez should focus on doing her job, not jet-setting around the world on her hypocritical Smash the Oligarchy tour, flaunting a private jet while neglecting her congressional duties. Let's face it, AOC's refusal to pass meaningful legislation of any form, any legislation at all, reveals her allegiance to radically progressive globalist interests, spitting in the face of the Americans that she is supposed to be representing. Her actions do nothing but embolden criminal illegal aliens, despite the overwhelming demand from Americans across the country to stop the flow of illegal aliens into this country and to also deport every single one of them that invaded our nation under her style of progressive leadership. And so I'll tell you what, Representative AOC's anti-American behavior fully warrants a thorough DOJ investigation. Allowing a sitting congresswoman to instruct illegal alien criminals on how to dodge the apprehension and deportations of ICE agents is absolutely unacceptable. Here's the truth. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez isn't just undermining President Trump or the Trump administration. No, she's actively undermining the democratic will of the American people who voted for Trump in a massive 2024 landslide in order to secure our borders and to finally put America first. And so while AOC is flying around the country in private jets trying to smash the oligarchy, whatever that means, President Trump is fighting night and day to clean up the progressive mess that has been tearing our country apart for years with absolutely catastrophic consequences. Here's the truth. AOC's actions are a complete and total betrayal of every single American citizen. She has actively chosen to work on behalf of illegal alien criminals instead of the American people that she swore an oath to represent. And so, hey, in my opinion, the DOJ absolutely must hold her accountable. And so once again, right now, AOC is absolutely freaking out, and for good cause. She has chosen to betray the American people, choosing instead to work on behalf of illegal alien criminals instead of the American people, and that, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be ignored. She knows she's screwed. It's only a matter of time. And you know what? I am in complete and total support of this active DOJ investigation because that is what it's going to take to finally put America first. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I do want to say real quick that we officially have a Morse News Twitter page as well as a Morse News Facebook page. So if you use either of those platforms, please go down below and drop a follow in order to get breaking news updates that relate to everything we talk about here in the YouTube videos. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there, and like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.